Fergus was the storyteller.
Fergus came into the nursery and the kids got comfy sitting on the cushions. We all kind of sat round.
Fergus did some songs and the children really quite enjoyed it, very engaged.
He used to play the guitar, which the kids used to enjoy and sing along to. Played a couple of games, which the children very much enjoyed, and I think a lot of the parents did as well.
And Fergus did stories with the kids, and the kids really enjoyed Fergus playing the guitar, and he had lots of props and puppets and things like that to get the kids to interact. And the kids got a chance to dress up while he was telling the stories.
Most of the children addicted to one particular song, which Alex in particular would not stop singing.
And Wiggle and Waggle was definitely a fun favourite. The kids were making us practice it afterwards, trying to learn the songs.
They would look forward to Fergus coming every week.
There was points every week that the kids looked forward to seeing Fergus and hearing different songs.
The kids really enjoyed Fergus's sessions with him because he's really enthusiastic and really animated, and the kids just really related really well to that.
It was good to go home and find out that the kids had actually picked up the songs really quickly and the stories, and they started doing it at home.
That was before we started putting the story together. So because it was kind of a storytelling session, it was taking the elements out of that, picking out the bits that kids liked and what appealed to the kids, and learning about the stories and how stories are put together, and just to find out what kind of things would attract the kids.
That was a picture that we found in the nursery because I was at Fairell Nursery in 1990, and this was me, I think I'm cooking and obviously playing away dressed up. That is a nursery one as well, so I found the three of them. That's the only three I found of me. In the stripy t-shirt. But it was quite interesting to find pictures of myself in the nursery after all of those years. I went to Fairell Primary School after Fairell Nursery. That was my very first day. That would have been the Links Market or maybe Burnt Island. I was probably about 4. I do it every single year. I wouldn't not go to the market. That was taken at Alton Towers. Probably I was about 14. We'd just come off the water ride, but it was great fun. That was me coming off the Oblivion. I wouldn't go on it nowadays, I didn't think, but I enjoyed it. That was taken in Burnt Island. I was really wee, maybe 1 or 2. But I quite like the picture because you can see the big wheel in the background. So the fair was obviously there at the time. That's my big cousin. Me personally, I didn't go on many things now. The children like to go on things because they're young and carefree, which I can struggle with a bit because sometimes I didn't want them to go on things, but you have to let them find their own way in life if you like. These were taken at the Beveridge Park. The pond basically looks the exact same now. You can still see the wee boat hut. The park's totally changed. It doesn't have like proper swings anymore. But we used to go down there a lot for days out and picnics with my gran when I was younger. I don't even know where that is. I just thought it was nice. I obviously liked swings. Christmas. Oh, I love that doll. It's like the same height as me. It went everywhere with me. I vaguely remember it, but my gran says that I loved that doll. That was Aberdour Beach. I do like that picture. That's quite a nice picture. That picture was taken when I went to Fairell Nursery when I was 4 in 1990. My children now go to the same nursery, and my key worker, Elaine, is still there. And she worked quite closely with my older 2, and she recognised me when I took Caitlin to the nursery, because Caitlin is quite similar to me. That's when she just kind of stood next to me and mentioned that she used to be my key worker all those years ago.
I think as a first stage of the development of the book, we decided that it was going to be based around this local area. It was going to be based in Temple Hall, and that it would be a journey within the book between different places in Temple Hall.
When we was coming up with an idea of the story, we decided all of us to do a book in Temple Hall, and Dave talked about Rabbit Braes, that he goes there with his camera quite a lot, taking photographs, and does a lot of events there.
When we all knew that we wanted to include Rabbit Braes in it, we went out with Martin and Fergus and took them up Rabbit Braes because they'd never been up that way before.
We did that to kind of decide on where important places were, where we could use in the story.
And we spent a wee bit of time up there walking around and having a look, and it's the first time in a lot of years I've been up there and actually had a proper look around and realised how much things have changed. Years and years ago there used to be a sandy hill up the top of Rabbit Braes that at one point had a chute on it, but then the chute got taken away and it was just orange sand that as kids we used to slide down, get totally covered in orange powder, and it was nicknamed the Cheesy. There's no sign of it now and it's all overgrown. A lot of the things that we enjoyed down there as kids are still the same. There's big hills to run up and down. You get a nice view of Kirkcaldy if you're right up at the top. My gran stayed up the back of Rabbit Braes when we were younger, so as kids we played down there all the time, building dens, making tree swings, walking the dogs and things like that. It all seemed a lot greener and a lot nicer in those days. Now it's all a bit overgrown and paths have disappeared and things like that. It's not quite the same as it used to be, but a lot of the houses up at the back of Rabbit Braes are still the same. And the house that my gran lived in at the side of Rabbit Braes hasn't really changed much, apart from the gardens changed, the flats and the bin sheds and all these big trees that we used to play hide and seek round and things are all still there. The Ravenscraig Park is somewhere I used to go as a child and play. My mum used to take us over on the bus and we used to play in the park and play down the beach. And now I take my boys there because there's a couple of really good parks up there, a woodland walk, and they like walking down on the beach. The park's all new and modern, but as a park it's still a really good space.
We drew all our pictures everywhere in the area, and then we picked out the points that we would maybe mention or walk past. It helped us kind of imagine where we would be the best locations to use.
So we drew out the maps on big sheets of paper and just to link all the places together and find out where they would be going next. And it helped Martin and Fergus as well because they weren't familiar with the area at the time, so I kind of put things down on paper to show them where things were and all the different things that are in the local area. But it's not till we wrote it all down that we realised just how many things are nearby to us.
It was just familiar in the area. Obviously the children walk past the shops, the library, the recycling bins on a regular basis, so it was about getting familiar places to them into the story so that they can relate to it when their wee characters were in it.
The parents and children wrote the words for the book. We came up with the idea through rubbish, and we thought it would be a good idea to have Dave, who is one of the dads involved in the group, to actually be a trash troll. So we decided to dress him up and stick a load of rubbish to him. And Nikki, another mum who was involved in the book, she altered the photos, so he became the trash troll.
We talked about having the kids in the book and how we would illustrate the kids, whether it be photos or illustrations. And I'd seen some books before that went out through the school that there were photos in the background but they had illustrations for the characters, and we all kind of agreed as a group that combining the two together would look really nice and it would have a really nice contrast. And then I'd found some images, some illustrations, various different ones, and we picked a certain style. So then decided that we would do the kids in that style, with their kind of cartoony style, kind of bigger heads and smaller little bodies. And the kids in that style looked about the right age as well, the kind of preschool age. So we took photos of the kids so that I could then go away and remember the colours of their hair and the colours of their eyes and the types of clothes they were wearing, and made each character look like the photos of the children and what the children looked like. I created them in a software package called Inkscape. It's a free graphics package that's available for anybody to download. At school, I always really enjoyed art, and as I kind of progressed through high school, I took higher art, higher graphic communication and higher graphic design. So I always kind of knew that as a job, that was a route that I definitely wanted to go down. At home as well, I was always drawing and things. That was kind of my main hobby. I went to art college and did graphic design. And it was through being at college that I got work experience at the job that I'm still doing. After I left college, I was taken on permanently there, and I'm still working there, and I still really enjoy it. I had the experience with the software for creating graphics and things, so I was able to do the illustrations for the book. It was nice to do graphics and be working on my laptop, doing something that wasn't advertising, because at work I'm always advertising, I'm always trying to sell things and promote things. So it was nice to do something that was creative, just for being creative, and something for kids. So it wasn't something that was put together to make money, it was just something that was put together for enjoyment, for other people. And being part of a book is just really good because I'm an avid reader and love books, and the kids love books, and we've got loads of books around the house and things. So it's nice to be involved and put that into it and create our own book.
I lived in Temple Hall for the last 3 years since I moved up from Essex, where I was born and grew up and went to school. I moved up here with my husband and 2 children, just basically to have a better life than we was in London. I used to see Scotland all the time on TV, normally on GMTV, covered in snow, kids having fun, and it just seemed more relaxed, nothing like London at all. And that's what I wanted ever since I can remember. And I knew that's what I would have for my children one day. When we were growing up, any events, especially holidays, my dad was always the video man. He always walked around with a video camera in his hand to capture the family moments that he always wanted as a child for himself. So as a result, we got hours of footage for me and my brother to look back on and enjoy. One of the memories I have is going off to Florida with my dad and my nan and grandfather and my brother, and it was one of the best times of my life. And one day, obviously, I will take my children and hope that they enjoy it as much as I did. I've got lots of memories there of my nan and granddad, of silly things that we all done. I went to Menorca with my family quite a few times and enjoyed it very much. Christmas was always the funnest time of year for me. I love Christmas trees, especially my nan and granddad's Christmas tree. One of the best I've ever seen. I think we'll never ever find another one like it. I spent a lot of time around my nan and granddad's when I was younger, and my nan and granddad had a very beautiful garden, loads and loads of flowers, roses. One day my children will be running around in a garden just like theirs, but it'll be my garden. My nan was always one that I could go to, and that is something I very passionately wanted for my own daughter, was her to feel that she could come to me with anything and not feel like that she would be judged or be in lots of trouble. And that's what my nan always done for me. If anything went wrong, and it was something serious or even mild, my nan would always help me through what went wrong.
Well, who wrote this one? Who made this book?
Me.
You, Aidan, and Alex and Leon and Jamie, and Abby, and Kimberly and Nikki, and Sharon and Dave. It's by you lot.
I think we're all really proud of the book, and probably we would never have thought at the very beginning that we could all come together and produce something that looks as good as it's turned out.
I've lived in Temple Hall all my life and never thought for 1 minute that I'd be writing a book, but it's actually gave me an incentive to put my ideas forward within the area. My kids have been brought up here, my brothers, all my family in fact, and it's going to be good to look back on later in life, knowing that the Temple Hall Trash Troll was written by parents who were from this area and other parents out with, who came together and produced this work.
Abby and Caitlin have seen the book. They've both already read it and seen places that they see in their everyday life, and they think it's exciting. Abby thinks it's exciting that she's in the book. And it is places that she knows and where she plays and stuff, so it's definitely important that it was in the area.
And it's great for the kids. It's a good thing for them to keep as well for years to come, and they are all liking that their names are mentioned in it, and the nursery's pictured in it, and the school's in it, and all the other local things that you can see in it. I think it'll be a really good thing to look back on.
Because the children are in it, they will pass it on probably to their children and make them very proud that they were associated with something where they used to live and went to school. The parents will always remember doing it with their children and also look back and remember it and have the skills to maybe go on and do other things.
It was a great experience, something I've never done before. Was quite apprehensive, but totally loved it, and the finished book is amazing. Well, for myself personally, it's something that I've achieved that I didn't think I would. And plus it's going to be good for the kids to look back on and even pass on to their brothers, sisters, cousins, family, and even other nursery children or even school children would benefit for reading the book.
And the message in the book about the trash troll and about not dropping your litter is just a thing that all kids need to and adults need to learn from the keeping your community kind of tidy and looking after your local area. We are lucky that we've got so much in this area, but we should all play a part in looking after it.
Goodbye, everyone, we've had fun today.